Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on this Tuesday night. And as we come on the air tonight, the president making global headlines at this hour, saying he has instructed his administration to halt U.S. funding for the World Health Organization in the middle of this global fight against the virus. The president then applauding his own move in late January to halt most travel coming in from China. This as the president, of course, is under growing scrutiny himself about what his administration knew and when, and whether crucial weeks were lost. All of this tonight as we hit a new high in the U.S. as the number of cases approaches 600,000. More than 25,000 people have died. And late today, New York City now adding more than 3,700 deaths to the toll. Thousands who died in nursing homes or at home, who were not tested, but who they now believe died from this virus. And even though there appears to be a flattening of the curve in New York, that curve has, of course, flattened at a painfully high level. 778 people dying in just the past 24 hours. Tonight, hospitalizations, ICU patients, and intubations are all down. The governor saying, quote, "We think we are at the apex," but of course urging caution, again signaling the social distancing is working here. In other parts of the country tonight, waiting for the peak and the growing recognition of the toll inside nursing homes. 45 seniors in just one facility in Richmond, Virginia, and in Massachusetts tonight, where the governor said to brace for a very difficult week. The National Guard, you can see right there, now going inside senior centers, nursing homes to help with testing. In fact, nearly 45% of the state's deaths from the virus were residents of these homes. And we continue to ask about what's next in this country. We do have news tonight on antibody tests, the new and major trial underway this evening. California's Governor Gavin Newsom today suggesting what California could look like in the weeks and months to come, what restaurants could look like, in fact. So we will get to it all again tonight, and again carefully, and we begin with ABC's Tom Yamas right here in New York.
In head-to-toe protective gear, members of the National Guard on the hunt for an invisible killer. This is no lab. It's a nursing home in Massachusetts. The Guard there to test residents. And tonight, it's growing increasingly clear these facilities are the new epicenter of the crisis.
Nursing homes have been an increasing issue because that is the vulnerable population in the vulnerable place.
Tonight, ABC News learning 25% of COVID-19 deaths in New York State were in nursing homes and adult care facilities. In Massachusetts, it's nearly 45%. And in Philadelphia, a staggering 50%. In New Jersey, we've seen first responders evacuating residents. And in just one facility in Richmond, Virginia, the Canterbury Nursing Home, 45 people have died, 3 in the past 24 hours, all of them from the coronavirus.
We were barely able to give basic care for our patients at the beginning because of the staffing shortages.
As these clusters emerge, we are seeing the virus sweep across the country. Louisiana reporting its deadliest day yet as the toll in that state rises above 1,000.
Every one of these numbers is a person. It's one of our neighbors. It's one of our friends. It's somebody's parent, somebody's child.
We're also seeing outbreaks in a handful of states where Republican governors have resisted imposing stay-at-home orders. South Dakota, now home to one of the largest coronavirus clusters anywhere in the U.S. Nearly 450 workers at a pork processing plant in Sioux Falls are sick, and more than 100 people who came into contact with them are now testing positive. The mayor begging the governor to act.
We're growing increasingly concerned about the need to mitigate that spike before it overwhelms our hospitals.
But South Dakota's governor insisting a statewide stay-at-home order wouldn't help.
I should always keep my eye on the ball and make sure that I'm making decisions to actually do good, not make decisions that just make people feel good.
In places like New York, where the curve is flattening, hospitals still admitting 1,600 new COVID patients.
Do you know how many admissions we had yesterday?
At Maimonides Hospital in Brooklyn, the toll is personal.
We found out this morning that we lost another teammate.
President Trump is hoping to reopen parts of the economy on May 1st. But from Dr. Anthony Fauci today, a note of caution.
I think if we are assuming that 2 weeks from now, that all the curves are going to be down, I think that's a bit overly optimistic.
Governors now fighting two battles, one to flatten the curve, the other to plan for the day they can reopen their states. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom envisioning what life might look like when that happens.
You may be having dinner with a waiter wearing gloves, maybe a face mask, dinner where the menu is disposable.
Governors on the East and West Coast banding together to strategize. But the president, who resisted calls for a national shutdown, now insists he will decide when the country will reopen for business.
I have the ultimate authority. The president of the United States calls the shots.
It prompted a backlash.
He basically declared himself King Trump.
And this morning on Twitter, the president compared the outcry from governors to a mutiny.
The president is clearly spoiling for a fight on this issue. I put my hand out in total partnership and cooperation with the president. If he wants a fight, he's not going to get it from me.
And so let's get to Tom Llamas. He's live outside Lenox Health Hospital in Manhattan tonight. And Tom, I do want to get back to the news I reported at the top there. President Trump speaking moments ago, saying the U.S. is now cutting off funding to the World Health Organization. Of course, this comes right in the middle of the global fight against this pandemic.
That's right, David, and he just made this statement, so I want to read his comments to our viewers. He says the U.S. will halt funding while they conduct a review to assess the WHO's role in severely mismanaging and covering up the spread of coronavirus. The president says the WHO opposed travel restrictions from China and other nations. Now, David, they initially did, but this new move comes as the president himself is being criticized for not acting fast enough, for not implementing certain restrictions like social distancing earlier than he did. David?
And as I said, this making world headlines at this hour. Tom Llamas leading us off. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.